Good evening. Welcome to our show tonight. And we've got a great show lined up for you tonight. I'm George Tabb with Life Without Limits Coaching and Counseling. And as you can see tonight, my better half is not here tonight. So I'm going to be filling in. Hopefully I'll be enough for us tonight. But anyway, just real quick, some of the things that we usually go over each one of the shows. This is a public forum, and anything placed in a comment is public, so all can see. And so this is not therapy, but it's coaching. And if you have a private matter or a question, you can just send us a email to Life Without Limits cc, and that's limits with an S, at gmail.com. And remember, if you hear something or see something that you like here tonight, I'm gonna ask you to actually do that. Like it, subscribe, share, comment. And so we have, for the last couple of weeks, this is the second week, we've been talking about how to put the fire back in your marriage. And so obviously Nashima is not here, so you're kind of getting this from one perspective and from a male's perspective, but hopefully I could bring some value to, and we've discussed this, and so I can say that I do have some of her opinion that's included. And so how to put the fire back in your marriage. And so last week we talked about putting your marriage first, things like scheduling fun time together, make each other a priority, and make time to listen to one another, share your feelings. And we talked about in sharing, you really have to discipline yourself to be able to actively listen. And I think sometimes, I know with me, unless the television is off, unless, my cell phone is off, a lot of times I'm not able to listen. And, I hear, but I don't listen. I'm not listening. Listening really involves your entire being. It involves your entire self. And so, you hear a lot, talking about, multitasking. But I can honestly say that multitasking is really overrated, and that's kind of what we talked about last week. And so this week we're just going to be expounding on that with two other points that we've covered, and one is find positive things about your partner. So there's really 4 points, and we went over 2 last week. We're going over 2 this week. So last week it was put your marriage first was the main point. Second point was make time to listen to one another. The third point is find positive things about your partner. And the fourth point is do things together. And so under find positive things about your partner, compliment your partner. I think it's important, how do they say, men cry for it, babies die for it. And it's appreciation. And so a compliment makes you feel appreciated. It lets your partner know that they're doing something right. And so I think it's important. I think compliments, they really mean so much, and they can really, boost the way you feel. It really is a sign of appreciation. It's a sign of love. It's a sign that, hey, I matter to you. I think nothing worse than, your partner, your husband, your wife putting on a new accessory and you don't notice, a new haircut and you don't notice. Maybe he's wearing a part now and you don't say anything. So it says that I don't care. So compliments are very important, verbal appreciation, laugh together. That's important. One of the things that I realize is that in relationship, the foundation of relationship is a friendship. And so when you're friends, you laugh together, right? You want to spend time together. You want to be together. So laughing together is a big part of that. And you know who's a good person to laugh at? Yourself. You know, I think it's fun to make fun of yourself and some of the things that you do, because some of the stuff we do doesn't make sense, right? But it's funny, and it's okay to laugh at it. Be able to laugh at yourself. You know, I always say don't take yourself too seriously, because nobody else does, right? All right, play together. You know, playing together, going for a walk together, playing tennis together, you know, doing active things together, I think is so important. It's a side in a relationship that oftentimes gets overlooked. But when you're dating, you do those type of things together. You know, you experiment with new things. You try something different. Maybe go ballroom dancing. Maybe go line dancing. Do those things together because it brings you closer together. And it gives you an opportunity to learn something else about your partner. You know, I think being together for an extended length of time, you know, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I think the fallacy is that you think you know that person. And, you know, my grandfather used to say, and him and my grandmother were married up until my grandfather passed away, and I want to say it was 40, 50 years. And he would say, you know, you can wake up every day and say, hey, good morning, stranger, right? Because we're all so dynamic, and I think when you get to the point that you think you know everything about your partner, it's not a good place to be. I think you always want to be curious. You always want to be learning about them. You always want to be exploring with them. Dream together. Okay, so what are some of the dreams? You know, what are some of the desires? What are some of the pains of your partner? Serve together. So, you know, how can you serve? You know, one of the things I enjoy about doing this show every week, and this is our 32nd episode. And what's so exciting is not what you're getting, but what this time that my wife and I have together. And it's a way for us to serve together. It's a way for us to give back together. And so do what you can to give back, and find something that it would be great if you guys could do it together. Okay. And so it's all about, I think becoming one is kind of this, it sounds good kind of thing, but becoming one is a constant thing. It's like balance. You know, you say, well, how do I stay balanced? Well, the way you stay balanced is you actively focus on it, and you really have to, be out of balance to be in balance. It's a ebb and flow kind of thing. It's not something that it's always the way it is. You know, because, you know, you're changing. Your relationship is changing. When things happen in your relationship, you know, you lose your job. Well, that changes your relationship. Okay? It changes the dynamic of your relationship. It changes your needs. Okay? When I'm working on a new project, my needs are different. Okay? And Nishima says, oh, you're a little more needy. You want to talk a little more. You know, I want to share, you know, my goals, my dreams, and all that's a part of being friends, but it's also about serving together. So find a project that you guys can work on together. And I know some of you guys are already doing this, and I know I'm probably singing to the choir, but it's always how we can improve, how we can get 1% better. All right. So the last point is do things together, travel together, have fun together, work out together, schedule fun time together. And most importantly, enjoy the journey, right? Life is a journey. You know, I think, you know, I used to spend so much time and focus on getting there, right? On the destination. And really, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Because here's the thing, you may never get to the destination, quite frankly. You may never get there. Well, what if the dream of the destination is all you have? Well, that means the journey is the goal. So in your relationship, it's the same thing. I used to hear, parents say, oh, my child is going through the terrible twos and I can't wait until this is over. Well, you know what? That's all you get, man. All you get is that little period in time. Nothing else is promised. Tomorrow is not promised. The next minute is not promised. And so it's all about the journey. It's all about, in a relationship, it's all about enjoying the journey. Recently we took our daughter to college, and I tried to enjoy every moment, soak it all up as much as I could. Why? Because I never get the opportunity to do that again. All right? I'll never get the opportunity to have, coffee with my wife again. Okay? I mean, I will, hopefully, right? And ideally, I will, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Are you? And so if that's the case, all we have is right now. So all you have is the journey. All you have is the present. Enjoy each other's interests. Movies is a great example. My wife likes particular types of movies. We watch particular type of movies on television. I like psychological thrillers and dramas, and for her, she likes, comedy. She likes shows that are, how do I say it? I mean, I wouldn't call it a chick flick, but we watch those together. I watch Atlanta Housewives. And I don't love it. It can be a little argumentative, but I enjoy watching it with her. Right? I enjoy watching, what's the other show with Gabrielle? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But I enjoy watching that show with her, right? Because we're together. We watch Greenleaf, okay? So Greenleaf is actually pretty good. But I watch, there are shows that I watch that I'm not in love with, but I watch because we watch them together, and I know she likes that show. Okay. And so, you could call it compromise, you can call it, but you know what? Here's where I think the rubber meets the road for me. Love is an action word. Love is something that you do. So if you love a person, they should be able to see that you love them by the things that you do and the way you carry yourself, because you love that person. And the sacrifices that you make are not really sacrifices. When I watch, the Braxton sisters, because my wife likes the Braxton sisters, when I watch them, I don't consider it a sacrifice. I consider it, something that, that I enjoy doing, because I enjoy being with her as we watch that together. Okay, now we're going to go see Kingsman on Friday, and that's something that my son enjoys. So we're all going to go see that with him. So, and I don't consider that a sacrifice. Why? Because I love my son, and I love being with my family. And so if this is something that my family wants to do, then I love it too. It becomes something that I love as well. So it's not a sacrifice. And I think early on, when it's all about you and it's all about your interests and the things that you want to do, then it's a sacrifice. Okay? But again, love is an action word. So love is something that you do. If you love, I talk to people all the time and they say, well, George, I don't need much. And my response is, if you don't need much, then you don't have to become much. See, the reason I have to become much is because my family has needs. See, that's love. So, a lot of people, we used to ask people, well, how many people are willing to die for your family? Man, we would get people, in a whole coliseum and everybody would raise their hand. Yes, I'm willing to die for my family. Yes, I'll sacrifice for my family. But here's the question. How many of you are willing to live for your family? Okay? And so living means, doing the things that you have to do as a woman, as a man, in that marriage, in that relationship, because you love that person. That's what love is. So, we're done. It's a wrap for tonight. That's all I had. I think next week we're going to be talking about my book. I just published a book a few weeks back, and it's called The Power of Productivity. And I'm going to be talking about that next week. And so, guys, it's a wrap. Thank you for getting on tonight. Thank you. I hope you got something. If you saw something or you got something that you thought somebody else could benefit from, hey, share it with them. Share, subscribe, like, and comment. Hey, God bless you. Take charge, take control, and take a chance. And we'll see you over the top. Bye-bye.